Daniel sucks dick. I have nothing to talk about. Or at least I don't have anything that was sent for me to talk about. So I'm just going to have to kind of make up stuff. I found out a weird thing tonight about a person I work with and know. Who I kind of had a suspicion, but basically what went down was the place that I work for a while, he wasn't there, and everybody thought it was because of a car accident. But then I realized what it was probably, and it turns out that it was that. And so that's kind of weird, right? I mean, don't really know what to do with that information. You don't know what to do with that information. I barely gave you any. But if you can muster up some little answer, feel free to send that into my ask box. And I will tell you, if you get it absolutely right, 100%, 100%, I will tell you if it is correct. It has to be exactly accurate. And I know that no one's going to send anything in because nobody wants to and nobody cares. Tonight I went to a bar. My brother was playing because him and his wife have been playing music together for a while, and it's all sweet and whatever. And, you know, they've been doing that for like 5 years, so it was their 5-year anniversary, but not for their marriage, more so for their piano, guitar, drums. So I went to that, and I saw all my brothers, and I saw some of their friends. And boy, oh boy, did I have a time there. I watched my brother and them play, which for some reason always bums me out. Don't know why, they're very good, and I like hearing it. But the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh, man, you know? Man, like, child, dude, you know? Like, girl, man, boy. Understand? So that was happening there. And then my brother, you know, he's just like, you know, you should try to hit on these girls at the table behind me. And I knew in my mind, I'm like, I guarantee you that those 3 girls, they're probably with some dudes. But they weren't sitting there at the time, so I'm like, you know what, whatever. So I turn around, and there's this girl drinking this thing out of a jar. And I'm like, hey, I like your jar. What's in it? She's like, oh, this is a cranberry vodka. And I'm like, hold on, I can't really hear you. What was that? And she's like, oh, it's cranberry vodka. And I'm like, is it any good? She's like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm like, will you let me drink some of your cranberry vodka from your jar? She said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was just like, what? You don't want to let a stranger drink from your jar? Well, great. Well, maybe I'll go get me one. Is it going to make me look like a faggot? I feel like I'm going to look like a faggot if I get one of those. And she's like, yeah, probably. And I was like, well, then never mind. I'm not going to get it because I'll look like a faggot. And then I turned around and I sat in my seat. Because that's how I like to hit on people. I'm real bad at it. Because I have this thing in my mind that tells me, go for the better story. Don't necessarily say things that will work. If they work out in your benefit, you know, great. But if it makes for an interesting thing to tell other people as a funny anecdote later on, do that. So, you know, now I have the story of vodka faggot, is what I'm going to call that one. There was this another instance where I was talking to a girl at a Foxy Shazam concert with some of my friends. We were hanging out there, we were listening to the music, we were like, oh, this is pretty cool, these opening bands are kind of shitty. And, you know, this girl just happened to stand next to us, and, you know, I just did the thing I normally do, where, you know, the guy on stage was like an attractive guy, and I'm like, man, that guy's pretty hot. And she turned to me, she's like, I know, right? And then so me and her just start talking about how hot this guy is, but she knows I'm not gay, because I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, I have no problem. I'm straight. I don't care about sucking dick, though. I mean, it's whatever. You know, we're having a good time. She's laughing at jokes and blah, blah, blah. And then eventually she turns to me. She says, so, you know, so how old are you? And I was just like, oh, me, I'm 13 years old. I'm actually in middle school right now. And then her friend was just like, oh, really? You know, because I'm a substitute teacher. And I'm like, oh, man, you guys should both come teach me at my school. You know, because I'm 13. You guys should come hang out with me at my school because you guys are going to teach me and then send me to recess or whatever. And then at that point, they proceeded to walk up to the front of the stage and didn't talk to us anymore. So that's how I like to do things. Let me know if that's good or bad. Give me advice. Do something.